Hi, I'm Stephanie, and I'm the founder of the ADHD Advocate, and welcome to our ADHD Empowerment Month LinkedIn Live. So this week is week 3, and we've been focusing on ADHD in the workplace. And we're finishing up the week with a topic of ADHD and delegation, which is quite a difficult thing for ADHDers to do. And I've got here with me Sharon from the Creative Desk. Welcome, Sharon.
Hi.
And Sharon actually is my PA and has been my PA for quite a few years now. It's incredible that she still is actually with me, given the absolute chaos I must cause for poor Sharon. And yeah, a lot of us ADHDers, ADHD business owners, managers, I think, yeah, I think for our teams, the people we manage, and particularly our personal assistants, administrative assistants, operations managers, yeah, I think we can be quite a handful, can't we, Sharon?
Well, I'll reserve that knowledge, but it's quite a joy working with the advocates, the ADHD advocates, and recently finding out that I've ADHD myself. I've just got a passion for making sure that we get the best out of ourselves, every day. And if I can help in some small way, that's great.
Yeah, no, you've helped in like massive ways. I don't know what I would have done without you these couple of years. You've been amazing, honestly. I've
Thank
been
you.
very lucky to have you, and anyone would be very lucky to have your help.
Thank you.
You know, it's funny, Sharon, they say if you can coach someone with ADHD, you can coach anyone, equally with you. If you can manage,
Yeah.
and personally assist someone with ADHD, you can assist anyone. Mm.
Well, it has, I mean, I've learned quite a lot, which has been great, and with the creative desk, I'm actually quite amazed at how many of my clients have got ADHD. So it's kind of just gravitated towards me, probably because of my personality and the way I work, not knowing all these years that my issues were probably down to not knowing I had ADHD. It's quite interesting that a lot of my clients have got it, ADHD or neurodiverse in some way.
Yeah, another thing they say is, you can do things for others you can't do for ourselves in terms of us ADHDers. So, when it comes to
It's
organizing
very true.
ourselves,
Very true. I'm far more organized when it comes to yourself and my clients than I am in my own life. So, yeah.
yeah. I feel better now. Not as I'll make sure to point that out to you, Sharon, next time.
Thanks.
No, but we have fun. It's important, isn't it? To be
Yeah.
able, like the relationship, I think, particularly for an ADHDer, because, we already feel, probably guilt and shame
Yeah.
about the way we are. And a lot of ADHDers don't want to get an assistant because they don't want to, expose the state of their affairs. They're too
Yeah.
embarrassed, and then they end up doing it all themselves and obviously not doing
Yeah.
very.
And I think for me, that's what I've tried to set apart with the creative desk is there's a lot of virtual assistants, a lot of online business managers out there who at the moment are jumping on the neurodiverse bandwagon. Let's just be honest about that. But I think the kind of client that I want is somebody I can build relationally with and build trust with and have for years. And I think even with yourself, Steph, it's the lines between personal life and your business life sometimes become blurred because you're building relationships and there's a different way things happen in our lives, especially with ADHD and how we manage things. And I think sometimes what we invite into our lives. So I've enjoyed that process of building a relationship with you, and understanding if I don't hear from you, why, it's not just, or, things like that. And I think that's what I'm trying to set apart with the creative desk as well, is that we build relationally, if that's what you want, but I found that it does work much better because, especially when it comes to delegation, a lot of it is built on trust
Yes.
because it's difficult. It's difficult to let go, especially if you're a perfectionist, which I know I am. So I have a PA as well, and
Yeah.
she's doing my email management, but that's about it at the moment because that's what I've managed to give over. But
It's
it's
pretty good actually that you've even done that, Sharon, honestly.
so there's definitely something built on trust, and it's a slow process. It's yeah, which is I think which is good for clients and for myself because then we stick together.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think, yeah, you've got the benefit over the years. Your ADHD lens is very clear by now. You know, obviously in terms of, you know, you've been helping us with the content, so you've been reading so much about ADHD.
Yeah.
You know, you've learned, you know, in putting everything together when we did ADHD Unlocked and putting all those,
Yeah.
you know, fact sheets for that was for over 2 years of information that you had to put into, you know, a form
Yeah.
that you could present. Yeah, so your knowledge is massive of neurodiversity now. And then,
Mm.
so that's the knowledge, but then the experience as well, working with someone with ADHD,
Yeah.
also massive. And yeah, and you've lasted, right? And I think that's the main, you know, like how many years now have you been with me?
I think it must be about 4, I'm not sure.
My gosh, yeah. Yeah,
You know,
honestly. And
yeah.
that's everything because let's face it, with ADHD is quite often, you know, depending on, you know, the person, you know, we can be too much. And, you know, if the person isn't able to be compassionate and be able to look through a different lens to their own
Yeah.
lens and be patient,
Yeah.
um, you know, and lead with, you know, love what you do, right? And care. Then, you know, you just wouldn't last with someone with ADHD, like with some people with ADHD.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it does. There's definitely a certain set of skills that come with working with people who are neurodiverse and working with your own neurodiversity, your own ADHD. It's definitely a different set of skills that's needed and more of an understanding. Um, I think also not being offended too easily, which, you know, if I don't hear from you for a couple of days, I don't take it personally.
Oh,
You know,
no.
check in. I still try to check in and see if everything's okay. But it's good that you've learned to delegate to, you know, to me now as well, so that you don't have to. I mean, I think it's good to be in touch and be
Oh
on top
God,
of
yes.
everything. But I'm glad like you've learned to delegate quite a lot to me. So you can just get on with what you need to get on with.
Oh yeah,
You
no,
know, you don't have to micromanage me,
no
which
God, no. If
which I
anything,
think,
you're
you
there
know,
going, "Hello, Stephanie. Hello, Stephanie."
but I think that that's again comes from trust, you know,
Oh,
and
absolutely.
just, you know, I think to say to anyone who's considering working with a VA or an OBM, just start small. If you've got a bit of a trust issue or a bit of a perfectionist, which is fine, it can be a strength. Just start off small, you know, give us one of your inboxes or let us sort out your files, you know, or something like that, and just build the trust slowly. And then when, you know, I think that's a good thing to do. And I think I just want to say the difference between a VA and an OBM. So virtual assistant is very task based. And I mean, I think with you, Steph, I'm a bit of both. I'm your
Well, you
PM
started off
and
as the
then your
VA, but then
operations manager as well. So,
joint
you know,
visionary, you know,
yeah,
kind of, you know, partner in practice in terms of brainstorming. I mean, you've added so much to the business. Like it goes so far beyond personal assistant because, you know, your natural creativity as well. Like you moved into the kind of the design and the social media kind of marketing because obviously your creativity, you know, just came through and then also but strategy massively as well, like all of it. You've been
yeah.
like a partner, a valuable partner to me in the business,
And I
definitely.
think that's the difference between the main difference between VA and OBM. And a lot of the times they do overlap.
Yeah.
But your like VA is mainly task based, and which I think a lot of clients who, especially on access to work, would probably need more in the beginning stages, whereas the online business manager is more strategic, deals with your team, more of your processes. So it's really just what your needs are, depending on, you know, but that's something we would discuss with a client and see what's going to work the best for them, you know. But it's that people don't, I think, really understand what an online business manager is yet. It's very big in America, but you know, not so much. I think again, it's a trust thing, you know.
Oh, I think again, you're talking about the needs. Us ADHD entrepreneurs and business owners, our needs are huge. Because ideas, right, they keep coming. And I
Yes.
know quite often, you know, I'll say, okay, Sharon, this is what we're doing. Oh, and then I'll pivot like at last minute, go, oh no, we're doing this now, and we've got 1 week to get this out or market
We
this.
do that really well, and I've learned a lot. Learned
Yeah.
a lot on how to think on my feet, and like you said, pivot. But you know, it's interesting, and it keeps things alive and fresh.
You never
So
get bored, right?
no,
Never.
no, we don't. We don't.
Which as an ADHD, right, that's important for you as well, given,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
so what would you, what advice would you give to, a VA, I guess, in terms of what's worked for you? What advice would you give to them when dealing, with an ADHD, for instance? Like, what do they need to be prepared for? What should they expect and be prepared?
I think the way I would work is at first, every person is completely different. And as I've learned with ADHD, there's different types and forms of ADHD. There's different ways people manage it or live with it. So I would firstly have a call with the person, see where they're at, see the areas that they're finding difficulty in, and then go from there. But I would say one of the main things is to listen and to read between the lines. Listen to what the person's not saying, or what
Challenge,
they,
like
or
you do.
what's behind what they're saying.
Mm,
Find out why they're stressed, why, have an interest that's beyond just that task,
yeah.
And I think for me, it's just to actually care about the person, it's not just a job.
Yeah.
If this is something that you just
You wouldn't be here
want
still.
an invoice paid at the end of the month. Well, I mean, I do like my invoices paid at the end of the month, but
Yeah.
but I think it has to be something more. I think if you want to be a VA that works with neurodiverse clients, it can't just be a job, because it sometimes does overtake your personal life in a certain respects. And some people might say, no, you've got to put the boundaries down and all that kind of thing. And yes, you do have to have boundaries, absolutely. But working with somebody who's nervous is slightly different. If I get a message at 10 o'clock at night, I know that I don't need to have a look at it, but that person has to brain dump.
Yeah.
They've had that idea right then, and that's what they're doing. It's not an expectation for me to suddenly start working at 10 o'clock at night. So I think it's little things like that. So don't go, oh, this person's, messaging me at 10 o'clock at night. I understand now if I get a message from you or any of my other clients at that time, it's not, can you do this now? It's just, I needed this out of my head. Otherwise, I feel anxious about it. So it's just knowing, that things are slightly different. I think being compassionate, having a good understanding of what neurodiversity is, what neurodiverse means to each person, that there are different types and there's different ways of dealing with things. I know some of my clients, they don't like a massively long email, a couple of bullet points, a follow-up is much easier way to deal with it. With another client, what we do is they get completely overwhelmed with the emails. I find emails quite a big thing, because a lot of times they're opened and then forgotten. So what we do is we'll go look through the emails and actually create a short task list for the week with the most urgent things at the top of the list. And then we will just do a bit of a follow-up, like if there's a D date, have you got this, or what can we do in the meantime? So it's really just staying on top of their lives, really, like just, as I said, read between the lines, be patient, do some research on neurodiversity. If you haven't worked with a neurodiverse client, do some research, because I think a lot of them won't tell you either. A lot of my clients haven't said, oh, I've got ADHD. I've picked it up because of the knowledge that I gained, and certain behaviors that I've suddenly gone, oh my gosh, that's why I behave that way. So definitely do some research, because I think a lot of people you're probably working with, or clients, other VAs are working with, have got, maybe neurodiverse. They either haven't divulged it or don't even know themselves and don't understand why they're overwhelmed, and, can't look at 5 emails. It's just too much, or their filing system is way out of it, or they've got such amazing ideas, but they can't get them out there. They don't come into fruition. because they've got all the thoughts and the ideas and, you know, the end result, but
Right.
everything in between, they don't know, you know, it's just like, how do I get to how do I get from A to Z? And we can come in between and say, look, we can do all the rest and help you get to Z, you know? So I think that's the main thing, is knowledge, compassion, empathy, and do your research. Yeah.
It's, yeah, I mean, I think, yeah, you've been amazing. I'm very lucky to have you. You are able to kind of set boundaries for me where I can't, like, yes, you're the gatekeeper of my calendar. When I get overexcited, enthusiastic, no, I'm going to do this, I could do this. And then you're like, Stephanie, maybe don't do the high school success program and university success program launches at the same time. And I'm really grateful you said that, because like, no, we didn't launch that uni program, and I'm God, I don't know how I would have been able to do both.
Yes.
So it's things like that. It's the body double. So
Yes.
you know, the body double strategy is the key strategy for ADHD.
Absolutely.
And you are like the perfect body double for me, and I can heartily recommend the Creative Desk to all neurodiverse business owners and entrepreneurs. They would be very lucky to have you, but I don't want to recommend you too highly, because, you know, I think I take up quite a bit of your time already. But obviously you've got people that work for you as well. But yeah,
Yes.
so I don't know what, I don't want to think about what things would look like without you, and I'm really grateful.
No, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere, and I'm looking forward to, you know, as I said, I'm learning more and more each day. And I mean, what you're teaching me as well as I'm putting in, you know, using with other clients. So it's definitely a quid pro quo kind of relationship. And I think, you know, that we've laid that foundation from the beginning, and that's the kind of foundation I would want to do with any client that I work with, whether it's on a ad hoc project or, you know, years down the line. But yeah, no, I've enjoyed every moment of it. Well,
Yeah.
mostly.
Hang on, we haven't finished. We've got a long way to go, Sharon.
No, no, but I'm just saying most. I've
Don't hurt
enjoyed
yourself.
most of
Love
it,
all of
Steph,
it.
most.
Loved all of it. She's just, you know, she's ADHD. She likes the stimulation. You know, it's like that's what I tell myself.
Yes.
No, but yeah, no, I'm very grateful for the help and your friendship, obviously, above all. So yeah, I can heartily recommend Sharon from the Creative Desk. And so I think, Sharon, maybe make sure you put your link to your website in the comments section.
I will do.
Yeah, for people to go and have a look. And yeah, we're very much at HD Advocate all about leaning into interdependence, not independence. As Dr. Hallowell says, life goal for ADHD should be interdependence. And that means, yes, get help as much as you can. You know, you deserve the best support possible, right? And, you know, we can't do everything ourselves. And there's certain things, even if we can, we really shouldn't. We really shouldn't, because you know, what you say yes to, what, you know, you're saying no to other things. And quite often for ADHD is, that's a no to, you know, where you leverage your strengths, you know, your unique brilliance. So we don't want to do that. You know, people like Sharon, Creative Desk, they're here to help ADHDs, you know, be able to realize and work in their areas of unique brilliance, like free them up to do that. So
Absolutely.
yeah, thank you, Sharon. And
Yes, thanks, Steph.
it continues.
Yeah. Well, it was lovely chatting. And if anybody needs some help, you know, just reach out to me and we'll work with you, work something out.
Thanks, Sharon. And so, well, that's the end of week 3. Week 4, so join us Monday next week, when we're going to be speaking about ADHD in the context of friends and family. So have a great weekend, and we'll see you Monday.
All right. Bye. Thanks. Bye.